Okay, everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully, you're enjoying your little vacation. I decided to go ahead and um, work the odd problems. Hopefully, you can find time in your schedule at some point before the next class to have all the odds worked out. All right. We're going to do the evens on the next one. So please make sure at some point you go through and do the odds. We have a lot to do and a lot to prepare for. I didn't want to take a day off. So your job, go through and do the odds. Again, you're writing down all of your work, showing all of your answers clearly. Question number one. All right, the first couple are basic, straightforward. Undo subtraction, we add 5 to both sides. So x equals 2. Next equation, we multiply by the reciprocal to undo a fraction. So we're going to multiply by 3 over 2, multiply by 3 over 2. Now again, these cancel. So x is equal to 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So negative 27. These problems are all review. Okay, so you shouldn't have really any questions. Part of the problem is kids forget how to handle fractions. All right, multiply by the reciprocal. Check out number 5. To undo plus 1.75, we subtract 1.75. Subtract 1.75. Don't forget, if you want to make it easier, you can put a 0. X is equal to, now when you subtract, it becomes a 5, 6, decimal, if you want 0. So x is equal to 0.65. Next problem, how do we undo multiplication? Divide. So x is equal to, now remember, it doesn't matter where the negative goes, but traditionally we just put it out in front as negative 7/9. All right, let's take a look at number 9. Step equation, add 6. Now we have 3/5 x equals 9. Now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And those guys cancel. X equals, divide first. So we do 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Then 3 times 5, which is 15. So x is equal to 15. Number 11. And remember, this is the case where you have this quantity. So you're technically dividing that quantity by 7. So to undo the dividing by 7, we have to multiply both sides by 7. And now what happens? Those cancel. So x plus 4 equals negative 21. Subtract 4, x equals negative 25. Now, if you think I'm going too fast, stop the video, go back, look it over, then continue. It's about understanding as you're going through. You have the ability to stop and start because, again, this is the most important thing that will help you next year. All right, number 13. Okay, sorry about that. I got a little distracted. Someone's at the door, so I had to go answer that real quick. All right, now we start with a new type of problem. All right, so everybody's got to listen carefully. All right, here, notice we have variables on the right, variables on the left, numbers on the right, numbers on the left. So what I tell kids is that we're going to try to group them so the variables are always on the left and the numbers are on the right. So what does that mean? You're going to be left and right of the equal sign. This is the left side, and this is the right side of the equal sign. So this 3x is on the right side of the equal sign. I want it on the left side. So if I want to put that on the left side, I have to subtract 3x. Subtract 3x. Now the next thing, the -8 is a number and it's on the left side. So I want to move it to the right side. So I add 8. I add 8. Now I also want to show you that this plus 8 here is in the right position, and this 7x is in the correct position because of its location to the equal sign. Variables are on the left side, numbers are on the right side. Now, once you establish that simple fact, the problem becomes easy because now we're going to say 7x minus 3x is 4x, and then 8 plus 8 is 16. Now we divide, and x equals 4. Notice again how these two things cancel out, these two things cancel out. So again, the biggest part of the lesson today is variables on the left, numbers on the right. Now, we've done this before. This is a proportion, right? How do you solve a proportion? We cross multiply, and then we divide. All right, cross multiply, and then divide. All right, that's traditionally how we do it. So let's look at how the equation. So when we cross multiply, it's going to be this times this. Now, again, cross this way, and then we're going to multiply these two things together. All right, so 2 times 3x minus 4 equals 2 times x minus 3. All right, now again, we have parentheses. All right, so for the parentheses, all we're doing is distributing. So I end up with 6x minus 8 is equal to 2x minus 6. Now, subtract 2x from both sides. Add 8 to both sides. Now notice what happened is the variables moved to the left, the numbers moved to the right. This right here cancels, this cancels. So now you have 4x equals 2 divided by 4. Now 2 divided by 4 is not 2. Remember, that's a fraction. 2/4 reduces to 1/2. Okay? Number 17. First thing you look at is you see, hey, I have a distributive property. So we're going to distribute the -3. So that'll be -6x plus 15. Now again, I got the -6 by doing -3 times 2, and then I did -3 times -5. And then I just finished the equation. Now what do? I look at here, and I say 15 minus 7, which is 8. So now -6x plus 8 equals 14. Subtract 8. -6x equals 6. So x equals -1. All right, guys. Now again, if that's trouble, stop the video, go back, listen to it again, write down the steps, and practice. You'll end up getting it. It's not that big of a deal. All right, now we have some problems because we have fractions, all right? But the same rules apply. I gotta subtract 1/2 x, subtract 1/2 x, add 2, add 2. The reason why I do, because this cancels, all right? So now 7 plus 2 is 9. Now we just have to do 3/4 minus 1/2. Common denominator is 4, multiplied by 2. That creates 2/4. So it's just 3/4 minus 2/4, which is 1/4 x. Okay? So 3/4 minus 1/2 is 1/4. Now how do I get rid of a fraction? Multiply by the reciprocal, we say. Reciprocal is 4/1. Technically, we don't need the over 1. Just multiplying by 4, these cancel. X equals 36. Okay. Next problem. Again, distributing. -3 times 4x. -3 times +6. Variables on the left. Numbers on the right. -20x equals, sorry, I really wrote x there instead of an 8. That was going to be 96 divided by -20. And we want to leave it as a fraction. So we say -96/20. Now I know they're both divisible by 2. So now I say -48/10 divided by 2 again, -24/5. All right, so that's our answer. X equals -24/5. All right. Now let's take a look at 23. Same thing. We're going to do variables on the left. Move that. Numbers on the right. -5x equals 15. Divide by -5. So x equals -3. Okay? Now, continue. 25, proportion. So again, we're going to cross multiply. So I have 5 times 2x plus 1 equals 3 times 3 minus 2x. Now we distribute. 10x plus 5. Remember, it's 5 times 2 and 5 times 1. 3 times 3. 3 times -2. Add 6x. Subtract 5. Notice again, I'm trying to move the variables to the left, numbers to the right. 16x equals 4. Divide both sides by 16. And now, remember, 4/16 is not 4, it's the fraction. So we say 1/4. Okay. 27. All right. Now here's something new. All right, so I really want to concentrate. I want you to first say 3x minus 12, and then that equals 3x minus 12. Well, you should say that looks a little weird because you're saying something is equal to itself. That is called an identity. Okay, what does that mean? That means it's always true. All right, so if something is always true, we say all real numbers. All right, now I want to go back just to look at number 25. When is that true? The only time when this is equal to this, the only time that's true is if x equals 1/4. All right, there's only one case. On number 27, it doesn't matter what you select. They'll always be true. Okay, this is called an identity. All right, it's called an identity. Now, there's another problem I want to introduce, all right, because it's going to come up on this worksheet somewhere, and I want you to be ready for it. What if I said x is equal to x minus 8? Well, you should say, how can a number equal itself minus 8? We say that's a contradiction. That cannot happen. A number can't be two things at once. It can't be itself and itself minus 8. So in this case, if we reach a contradiction, we say it's no solution. Okay, so no solution is a circle with a line through it. Now, how do we know it's no solution? All right, because if I were to subtract x from both sides, I would get 0 is equal to -8. That's the contradiction. So that's why it's no solution. Over here, what I want to do is I want to move this out of the way, right? I want to show you why I know that's an identity, all right? Because the same process, variables on the left, numbers on the right. When I do that, everything cancels. So essentially you're saying 0 equals 0. Well, 0 equals 0 is a true statement, and it's always true. Therefore, it's an identity. So again, you could say all real numbers. All right, so those are the two big things that you learn in this unit, is a thing called an identity and no solution. All right, so now let's knock out 29. 29, we're undoing a fraction again, multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by the reciprocal, cancel, x equals, now remember, -21 divided by 3, -7 times 5, -35. Okay. Over here, number 31, add 3.75, add 3.75, cancels, x equals 5, 1, carry the 1, 7.15. Notice no calculator so far. All right, basic numbers. You can do this. All right, 33, dividing both sides by -9. And of course, 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay. 35. Let's go ahead and add 6. So now we have 7/8 x equals 2. Multiply by the reciprocal. These cancel. And now that's like 2 over 1. Since 2 divided by 7 doesn't work, we just multiply the numerators. 2 times 8 is 16. 1 times 7 is 7. Right? Remember, if it's too fast, slow down. All right? Stop the tape, rewind the tape, play it again. All right? That's how you learn. Number 37, remember, this is quantity, so I multiply both sides by 3 first. X minus 8 equals -12. Now I'm going to add 8 to both sides. X equals -4. Let's check out number 39. All right, variables to the left, -3x. Numbers to the right, add 20. -6x equals 28. Divide by -6. X equals -28 over 6, which reduces by 2. to negative 14 thirds. Very simple. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. Number 41, variables to the left, numbers to the right. 5x equals negative 20, divide by 5, x equals negative 4. All right, hopefully you're feeling better about it. 43, we have a distributive property. Negative 12x plus 30 minus 12 equals 6. Combining terms, negative 12x plus 18 equals 6. Subtract 18. Negative 12x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 12. X equals 1. All right, number 45 is an excellent problem because it has fractions. So please be careful. Subtract 2/3 x, subtract 2/3 x, add 3, add 3. Cancel, cancel. Now I'm doing 3/5 minus 2/3. Common denominator is 15. Multiply this by 3 over 3. Multiply this by 5. So 9/15 minus 10/15 is negative 1/15. So negative 1/15 x. Now again, we multiply by the reciprocal, so I'd just be multiplying both sides by negative 15. So x is equal to, and of course, 12 times 15 is 180. And don't forget the negative, all right? Let's check out 47, distributing a negative 3, distributing a negative 3, negative 6x minus 21 equals x plus 7, subtracting x, adding 21. Negative 7x equals 28. Divide by negative 7, x equals negative 4. Again, if it's going too fast, slow down, go back, stop the tape, rewind, go through again. All right, again, the distributive properties, some of you are having trouble multiplying those two things together. Then you are multiplying a negative 3 times positive 7. That's where you're getting those numbers from. Okay, then you got to remember variables to the left, numbers to the right. All right, looks like we've got a couple more to go here, guys. All right, so let's see. Variables on the left, so I add 6x. Numbers on the right. So now I have 17x equals negative 21. Divide both sides by 17. X equals negative 21 over 17. Okay. Next, 51. All right, so for 51, distributing 4x minus 18 plus 3 equals 4 minus x. Now what we're doing, combining terms. So I have 4x minus 15 equals 4 minus x. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. So I add 15 to both sides. And I add x to both sides. Now I end up with 5x equals 19. X equals 19 over 5. Okay? Again, please don't be afraid. Stop the video, go back, listen to the explanation again. Let's see what's okay. So that's it for today. All right, so again, Next time I meet with you, we're going to work through the evens. What I want you to do is really concentrate on making sure that you know how to do all of the odds. Some of the equations get a little bit more complicated, so you have to do the practice. If you don't know something, don't be afraid to listen to the video again and practice. All right, hopefully everybody's staying well. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon. You guys have a wonderful day.